Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Sunday morning, Sunday blues. Pukul 8 dah start kuliah. Okay, so first kali kita test mic, test apa lagi? Test mic, test camera, test apa lagi? Test lah semua. Tengok okay ke tak? Clear tak? Semua orang dengar saya? Okay. Okay ke? Boleh dengar clear? Clear? Okay, good. Boleh lah saya Husna, saya percaya cakap awak kata clear lah tu. Okay lah kot. Right, so today we are still at chapter 2, equations, inequalities and absolute value. So we have done equation last week, we have done inequalities last week. So today we are going to look at absolute values. So absolute values, we have two types of absolute value. We can either solve absolute value equation or absolute value inequalities. So today mostly we are going to do equation and then a few inequalities. Just a brief on inequalities. Okay, so lecture 3 out of 4. So the fourth lecture will be tomorrow. So we got class from 2 to 3, right? So we are going to have our last lecture on chapter 2 tomorrow then. And then this coming Wednesday, we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter 3, sequences and series. Okay, now next. Okay, like I told you before, I have already finished 2.1, 2.2. So now we are going to start with a new subtopic 2.3, where we are going to solve absolute value equation as well as absolute value inequalities. Okay, so the learning outcome for today, so basically we have 3 learning outcome. The first one, you should be able to use the properties of absolute value. So we should be able to see what are the properties of absolute value and then solve absolute value of the form. So we either have absolute value of ax plus b equal to c, absolute value of ax plus b equal to cx plus d, absolute value ax plus b equal to absolute value of cx plus d, and then absolute value of ax squared plus bx plus c equal to d. Okay, so there are basically two methods to solve absolute value equation. So you can either use basic definition or you can use squaring both sides. So later on, we're going to see what do I mean by basic definition and what do I mean by squaring both sides. Okay, so normally for me, if I have two modulus, one modulus on the left and another modulus on the right hand side, only for this case, I will use squaring both sides. Otherwise, I will use basic definition. That is normally the easiest one for me. I prefer to use squaring both sides if I have modulus on both left and right hand side. If I don't have a modulus on left and right hand side, then I mostly use basic definition. Okay, so that is for absolute value equation. And then C, absolute value inequalities of the form absolute value of ax plus b greater than cx plus d. So we're going to try to do some example where we have absolute value of ax plus b greater than cx plus d, or absolute value of ax plus b less than cx plus d. We are going to see a few examples of that. Okay, so let us go to the properties of absolute value. Okay, so firstly, we might need to understand first what is absolute value. So I did send you a video yesterday, I think. So I did send you a video yesterday. So if you already look at the video, I'm sure you get some basic info. What does the absolute value mean? Okay, so absolute value. On a real number line, so we are basically talking about the real number line, the distance of a number x from the origin is called the absolute value of x and is denoted by the modulus of x. Okay, so for example, if let's say the distance from 0 to 6, which is 6 unit, and then the distance also from 0 to -6, that is also 6 unit. So we can say the absolute value of x is equal to 6 because both 6 and -6 are 6 unit from 0. Okay, so what is absolute value? The distance of a number x from origin. So when you draw a number line, if let's say this is 0, then this is the distance on the right hand side and then another distance on the left hand side. So that is absolute value of x. Okay, so properties of absolute value. So now we are talking about the properties of absolute value. So altogether we have around 6 properties. The first one is that if you have an absolute value, it should be at least equal to 0. So absolute value of x will be greater than or equal to 0, which means that absolute value is always a positive number. Dia sekurang-kurangnya kena sama dengan kosong ataupun nombor yang positif. So absolute value of x is greater than or equal to 0. So for example, if let's say you put 3 inside the modulus, right? So absolute value of 3 is also equal to 3. So this number is actually greater than 0. If let's say we try to substitute 0 inside our modulus, then the modulus of 0 is simply equal to 0. Okay, so now let us try for some negative number if I put them inside the modulus. Okay, so for example, the modulus of -3, that is also equal to 3 because we are talking about the distance. So this is 0, this is -3. So the distance from 0 up until -3 is simply 3 unit. And 3 unit is definitely greater than 0. Okay, so done with the first properties. Absolute value should always be greater than or equal to 0. The second one is that if you have absolute value of A, that is actually equal to the absolute value of -A because we are simply talking about the distance of x from the origin. So kalau kata kita draw number line, this is 0 and we are talking about this -A and A over here. So 0 from A, the distance is A unit. The distance from 0 to -A, this is also A unit. So that is the reason why we have absolute value of A equal to absolute value of -A. They are actually the same distance except that one is going to the right hand side and one is going to the left hand side. But they are actually the same distance. Okay, so if you try to substitute into some number, you might have something like absolute value of 5 equal to absolute value of -5 and that is totally equal to 5. So dia akan nilai yang sama sajalah sebab dia jarak daripada kosong sampai point. So jarak daripada kosong sampai 5 point, 0 until -5 is also 5. Therefore, they are equal. Okay, so that is the second properties. The third one, if let's say you have an addition or subtraction inside the modulus, then the modulus of A plus B is actually equal to the modulus of B plus A. Okay, so for example, if let's say I have A equal to -2, B is equal to 6. So -2 plus 6, and this is actually equal to 6 minus with 2, which is equal to 4. So it will be the same distance. Okay, so if you do addition or subtraction inside the modulus, nothing will change. It will be equal, sama saja kita buat subtraction ataupun maksudnya kalau kita tukar-tukar tempat tu lah. So you can either do A plus B or B plus A. You will get the same value actually. Okay, next. If you do a minus, A minus B, this is equal to the B minus A, modulus of B minus A. So same thing with what I said earlier. So if you got 10 minus 3, that is modulus of 7, which is equal to 7. And if you do calculate 3 minus with 10, that is also equal to 7, because we are simply talking about the distance from 3 to 10. So the distance will be equal, which is 7. Okay, so that is the fourth property. So now the fifth one, we already have a plus, minus. So now multiplication then. So if you do have a multiplication inside of the modulus, you can actually separate them into two different modulus. So modulus of AB, that is actually equal to modulus of A, and then you times with modulus of B. So that means you can easily separate them. So for example, the modulus of negative 3 times with 6, that is equal to the modulus of negative 18, which is equal to 18. Or you can actually do it one by one. So modulus of negative 3 multiply with modulus of 6, and that is equal to 18 as well. So we are going to get the same answer. So kita boleh darab dulu, lepas tu baru kita buat modulus, ataupun kita asingkan, kita buat modulus satu-satu. Okay, so that is the fifth one. I have a multiplication. So now the last one will be a division. Okay, so if we have a division of modulus A over B, that is actually equal to modulus of A over modulus of B. So you can also separate the modulus. So you can split the modulus into two as well. So you can see some example over here. If let's say I do 12 over negative 3, so this is modulus of negative 4, which is equal to 4. Or if I take modulus of 12 over modulus of negative 3, that is also equal to 4. So jawapan dia sama sajalah. Okay, so those are the properties of absolute value. So now let us go on how to solve the absolute value equation. Right, so basically, like I told you before, there are actually two methods in order to solve the absolute value equation. So the first method is something called as the basic definition. So I'll teach you later on what do we mean by basic definition. And then I'll show you how to use squaring both sides as well. So we basically have two methods to solve absolute value equation. Either you use basic definition or you can use squaring both sides. So normally for me, squaring both sides, I only use squaring both sides if I have modulus on left and right hand side. Tapi sebenarnya kalau ikutkan, kalau constant macam ni pun nak pakai squaring both sides tak ada masalah. Just to make it simple for us to remember, for you as well, because you have lots of things to remember, right? So for me, even though it might work for squaring both sides as well, but I do keep it simple. Maksudnya kalau benda tu ada dua modulus, baru saya pakai squaring both sides. Otherwise, everything else I use basic definition. So that is the easiest thing that work for me. Okay, so basic definition, I only use them if I don't have modulus on left and right hand side. Squaring both sides if I have modulus on both left and right hand side. So yang tu yang saya buat lah. Okay, so now let us see what do we mean by the basic definition. Okay, so on a real number line, so absolute value is the distance from 0, right? So for example, this is 0 until A, so the distance is A unit. 0 until negative A, this is also A unit. Therefore, if you are doing modulus of x equal to A, when you open it, one of them will be x equal to A, which means on the right hand side. So you are going from 0 to the right hand side. So x equal to A, or x equal to negative A, which means you are starting from the origin going to the left hand side, negative A. So if you want to use the basic definition, open the modulus, you will have one positive and one negative. So satu sama dengan positif, satu lagi sama dengan negatif lah. Okay, so for example, if let's say you have absolute value of x equal to 5, right? So this is 0, this is 5, this is negative 5. So open the absolute value sign. One of them will be x equal to negative 5. Another one will be x equal to 5. Okay, if let's say I give you something more complicated, absolute value of x, let's say equal to 3x minus 2. So what happened? Okay, this is 0. the right hand side, so this is 3x minus 2. The left hand side, you simply put negative 3x minus 2. So the first one is x equal to negative 3x minus 2, or another one, x is equal to 3x minus 2. So one will be positive, another one will be negative. So that is basically how we are going to use the basic definition. Okay, next. Right, so solve the following equation. So we have absolute value of x equal to 4. Okay, so let us try to use the basic definition for them. Okay, so this is 0. The distance should be 4, so this one should be 4 unit, and then this one should be negative 4. Therefore, by using the basic definition, you will have either x equal to 4 or x equal to negative 4. So this is by using the basic definition. Okay, so macam saya cakap jugalah, kalau yang ini nak guna squaring both side pun tak ada masalah, boleh guna. Sebab sebelah kanan ni constant tau. So I'll show you how to use the squaring both side. Saja je lah nak cakap, boleh juga kalau nak guna. Okay, so if let's say you want to use squaring both side, right? So modulus of x equal to 4, and then you're gonna square on both sides. So modulus of x squared is equal to 4 squared. And then what do we know about absolute value of x? Absolute value of x is actually the square root of x squared. So that means if you square your absolute value, you are supposed to get x squared, because this is the square root of x squared. So this is x squared. So from the modulus of x squared, we are using some definition over here. Since the modulus of x is equal to the square root of x squared, you square on both sides. Therefore, you're going to change it to become x squared. So x squared is equal to 16. You're going to do the square root on both sides and then plus minus. So x will be equal to plus minus of 4. So either x equal to 4 or x equal to negative 4. So again, I repeat, untuk yang ini boleh pakai squaring both sides sebab sebelah kanan tu constant. Tapi biasanya untuk saya memang akan pakai basic definition sahaja. Tapi yang ni saja je lah saya tunjuk dulu. Yang kata dia boleh pakai juga. Cuma I prefer to keep squaring both sides if I have modulus on left and right. Otherwise, I prefer to use basic definition. Okay, so this one, the same thing actually, because on the right hand side, we have some constant. So we can actually have two methods. You can use basic definition or you can use squaring both sides. Okay, so draw a number line. So this is 0. The right hand side, the value is 2. So this is 2 unit. This is negative 2 unit. Okay, so by using the basic definition, the first one, we can either have x plus 8 equal to 2 or x plus 8 equal to negative 2. So you can have two things. X plus 8 equal to 2 or x plus 8 equal to negative 2. And then of course, you're going to make x as your subject. So you either have x equal to negative 6 or x equal to negative 10. So done. What happened if we use squaring both sides? Okay, so let's try squaring both sides. So we start with the modulus of x plus 8 equal to 2, and then you square on both sides. So you will have something like x plus 8 square equal to 4. And then of course you need to expand them very carefully. So x square plus 16x plus 64 equal to 4. So nanti bawa 4 pergi kiri, kita akan dapat x square plus 16x plus 60 equal to 0. Factorize them completely and they will give you the same answer, which is either x equal to negative 6 or x equal to negative 10. So they basically give you the same answer. But like I told you before, normally I don't use squaring both sides for this kind of question because I prefer to use squaring both sides only if I have modulus on left and right. Otherwise, I prefer to use basic definition. it will be much more easier for me that way. Okay, next. Now see, we got modulus of 5x plus 3 equal to 2x plus 9. So now this is 0. On the right hand side, we have 2x plus 9. So this distance is 2x plus 9. On the left hand side, negative of 2x plus 9. Okay, so let me use the basic definition for this. Actually, for this kind of question, you cannot use squaring both sides. It won't work. Okay, so now use the basic definition. So the first one, we are going to take 5x plus 3 equal to 2x plus 9. On the right hand side, the distance is 2x plus 9. And then 5x plus 3 equal to the negative of 2x plus 9. So we are going to separate them into 2. So 5x plus 3 equal to 2x plus 9, or 5x plus 3 equal to the negative of 2x plus 9. And then of course, you should solve them one by one. So collect all the x, go to the left, all the numbers go to the right hand side, and then you should make x as your subject. Okay, so you got 3x equal to 6, x will be equal to 2. So that is on the left hand side. Next, we got 7x equal to negative 12. Therefore, x will be equal to negative 12 over 7. Okay, so every time you see this kind of absolute value, what do you need to do is that you have to check your final answer. So go back to the question and try to substitute. Dia sebenarnya sama macam yang A dengan B tu pun kena check juga. Tapi yang ini sajalah saya tekankan. Dah biasa dengan step baru saya tekankan. You must check your answer. Okay, so now go back over here and try to substitute. Okay, so on the left hand side, I have the modulus of 5 multiplied with 2 and then plus with 3. So this is 10 plus 3, which is 13. On the right hand side, this is 2 times 2 plus with 9, which is also equal to 13. So that means this one is accepted. Okay, so now another one, left hand side. So left hand side, we have the modulus 5 multiplied with negative 12 over 7 and then plus with 3. Oh, habislah saya tak ada calculator. Start. Negatif 60. Negatif 60. Tambah 21. 39. Okay. 39 over 7. Oh, by the way, do correct me if I get them wrong. Right hand side. So we got 2 multiply with negative 12 over 7 and then plus with 9. So yang ini negative 14. 9, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 63. Sama. 39 over 7. Negatif. Celah mana negatif lah. Oh, sini kot. Just in case you didn't see, this is a line actually. It means modulus. So whatever that you have inside your modulus, your answer should be positive. So tadi sepatutnya kalau kira memang dapat negatif. Tapi bila dia berada di dalam modulus, kita kena positifkan dia lah. So that is 39 over 7. On the right hand side, that is also 39 over 7. So that means I do accept both of them as my final answer. So x equal to 2 or x equal to negative 12 over 7. Okay, so done with the basic definition. Next, CD now. So now we have the modulus of 2x plus 6 equal to the modulus of x minus 1. So this is where we have two modulus. One modulus on the left, one modulus on the right. So this is when I'm using squaring both sides. So this one kita tak pakai basic definition lah. Yang ni memang tak boleh pakai basic definition. You must use squaring both sides. So use squaring both sides. Okay, so 2x plus 6 square equal to x minus 1 square. So expand them very, very carefully. After you expand, make sure to bring all the numbers to the left. We should have something with a quadratic. Then you should factorize them completely to get the value of x. Okay, so expanding them, it will give you 4x squared plus 24x plus 36 equal to x squared minus 2x plus with 1. Bring everything to the left-hand side, you will end up with 3x squared plus 26x plus 35 equal to 0. Factorize them completely. That will give you 3x plus 5, x plus 7 equal to 0. So that means either x equal to negative 5 over 3 or x equal to negative 7. Of course, you should check your answer first. Sebab kadang-kadang kita mungkin accept salah satu, mungkin kita accept dua-dua. Okay, let's say x equal to negative 5 over 3. So on the left hand side, I have something like the modulus of 2 times negative 5 over 3 and then plus with 6. And then on the right hand side, I have negative 5 over 3 minus 1. So yang ni nanti kira lah So negative 10 and then plus with 18. So this is negative 10, 18. So 8 over 3. So this is also 8 over 3. So they are basically equal. Therefore, you can accept negative 5 over 3. So do the same thing for negative 7 as well. Lah macam aku buat juga. Mula ingat nak suruh kira. Okay, left hand side. So we got the modulus of 2 times negative 7 and then plus with 6. So negative 14 plus 6. So this is 8 then. And then the right hand side, we have modulus of negative 7, negative 1 that is also equal to 8. So they are equal. So we do accept both answer. Kalau kita tak accept, kita akan tulis rejected ataupun ignore. But always make sure to check your final answer. Okay, so now the modulus of x plus 1 over x minus 3 equal to 2. So what happened? We are going to use the basic definition for this. Okay, so x plus 1 over x minus 3 equal to 2 or x plus 1 over x minus 3 equal to negative 2. So this is basically because the distance is 2 unit. So that is the reason why you are having either negative 2 or 2. Okay, so now I do see some equal sign over here. So that means I can bring this one up. So x plus 1 equal to 2 multiply with x minus 3. So expand them, bring all the x to the left. So we got negative x equal to negative 7, which means that x will be equal to 7. Okay, and then on the right hand side, again, I do see some equal sign over here. So that is the reason why I can actually bring my denominator up. Kita hanya boleh tarik dia naik sebab kita ada simbol sama dengan Okay, so bring them up. So you have x plus 1 equal to negative 2, x minus 3. Expand them, collect all the x. So what are you going to get? S is 3x equal to 5. So x will be equal to 5 over 3. Again, take your calculator, try to substitute, and then do check is both answer okay or not. Kalau tak silap saya, dua-dua betul lah. Okay, so x equal to 7 or x equal to 5 over 3. So do check final answer mesti kena check, ganti balik, kita tengok dapat tak sama dengan 2. Okay, done I think. Oh, ada lagi. Oh, aduh, satu lagi. Okay. Right, so now we got absolute value of x squared minus 6x plus 4 equal to 4. Okay, again, number line 0, the distance is 4. So 4 unit on the right hand side, 4 unit on the left hand side. So we got either negative 4 or 4. So the first one is x squared minus 6x plus 4 equal to 4. The second one is x squared minus 6x plus 4 equal to negative 4. Okay, so for this method, I'm using the basic definition. Walaupun sebelah kanan ni constant, kalau ikutkan boleh pakai squaring both side. Tapi kalau kita square both side, nanti x kuasa 2 jadi x kuasa 4. So I avoid using squaring both side. Okay, so now bring everything to the left hand side and then we are going to factorize them completely. So this is x squared minus 6x equal to 0. I do see a common factor where I can actually factorize out the x. So I got x minus 6 equal to 0. So x equal to 0 or x equal to 6. And then x squared minus 6x plus 4 equal to negative 4. Bring everything to the left hand side. X squared minus 6x plus 8 equal to 0. Factorize them completely. So x minus 4, x minus 2 equal to 0. So x equal to 4 or x equal to 2. Okay, and then final answer combine semua. So x equal to 0, 2, 4, 6. Nanti boleh ganti balik lah. Check balik tau. Tengok dapat apa. Dapat tak 4 tu? Sepatutnya dapat. Yang ni tak ada masalah sangat. Okay. Done with absolute value equation. So now we got to do absolute value inequalities. Dah, tarik nafas sekejap. Okay. Right, so now absolute value inequalities. This is basically the third learning outcome for today, the last learning outcome as well. Okay, so now in order to solve the absolute value inequalities, you still have two methods. You are either using the basic definition or you can use squaring both sides. But like what we did for absolute value equation, I only use squaring both sides whenever I have two sides modulus. So modulus on the left hand side and modulus on the right hand side. So saya ada modulus kiri, modulus kanan, baru saya guna squaring both side. Otherwise, I will use the basic definition. So that is normally what I did. I only use squaring both side if I have modulus on left and right. Otherwise, I'll use basic definition. Okay, so now let us see what are the basic definition. So for this basic definition, you might need to memorize a little bit. So yang ini kena ingat lah. Right, so you can have four types of inequalities. You can either have absolute value of x less than a or absolute value of x less than or equal to a. Absolute value of x greater than a or absolute value of x greater than or equal to a. If you have absolute value of x less than a, so this is your number line, this is 0. Absolute value of x less than a, so this distance is a, this distance is negative a. You want the distance to be less than a unit, so it should be somewhere over here. This one, this is also a unit, and you want the distance to be less than a, so it should be somewhere right in the middle as well. Therefore, x will be in between negative a and a. If we do have something in between like this, we are going to separate them into two inequalities. So one on the left, one on the right hand side, where we are going to use the word and. Because they must happen at the same time. Sebab tadi daripada in between kan. So in between kalau nak tukar kepada dua inequalities, mesti kena pakai and. Okay, so similar thing over here, absolute value of x less than or equal to a. So this is 0, this is a, this is negative a. So you want the distance to be less than or equal to a. So it should be somewhere over here. 0 until negative a, the distance should also be less than a. So somewhere over here. So again, we got x in between negative a and a. So somewhere in between, you can actually separate them into two inequalities. So x greater than negative a and x less than or equal to a. So we are using the word and because this is from something in between. So dia daripada in between dua nilai. So kita nak pecah dia kepada inequalities. Therefore, we must use and. Sebab dia daripada between. Okay, so now The third one, we have absolute value of x greater than a. So imagine this is your number line, this is 0, this is a, this is negative a. Okay, so 0 until a, this is a unit, 0 until negative a, that is also a unit. But you want the distance to be more than a. So I don't want a, but I want more than a. So kena atas lah. Same thing over here, this distance is a, but I want them to be greater than a. So it should be on the left hand side. As you can see, you have two different shaded region, one on the left, one on the right hand side. That is the reason why we are using or, because we have two different region. So either your answer is on the left hand side or your answer might be on the right hand side. So they cannot happen at the same time. Sebab tu kita guna perkataan or. Okay, so either x greater than a or x will be less than negative a. Okay, so similar thing over here. So you have number line 0, a, negative a. You want the distance to be greater than or at least equal to a. So it should be greater than or equal to a. Same thing on the left hand side, the distance from 0 until negative a, the distance is a unit. I want the distance to be more than a, so it should be more on the left. Okay, so two differentiated region. So you will have either x greater than or equal to a or x less than or equal to negative a. So kalau greater than a, kita akan ada dua region, satu kiri, satu kanan. Kalau kata less than, dia akan jadi satu region saja kat tengah-tengah in between. So those are the things that you should remember. How to remember? You need to remember them by heart, by mind, by soul. Ingat lah. Macam mana nak ingat? Kena ingat. Okay, next. Right, so how do we solve absolute value of 2x plus 3 less than 5? Okay, so basically, this is 0, this is 5, this is negative 5. I want the distance to be less than 5. So 0 until 5, the distance that is less than 5 is somewhere in between here. 0 until negative 5, the distance should be less than 5. So somewhere in between here as well. So I know for sure this is somewhere in between negative 5 and 5. So this is basically how we are going to open the absolute value sign. So 2x plus 3 will be in between negative 5 and 5. Okay, so now we got something in between. Therefore, we should split them into two inequalities. So split into two. So one on the left hand side, another one on the right hand side. Okay, so on the left hand side, I have negative 5 less than 2x plus 3, but I don't normally like having my x on the right hand side. So I prefer to change it to the left hand side. Tapi biasalah kalau kata kita tukar x pergi sebelah kiri, bermaksud inequality pun kena tukar sama-sama jugalah. So 2x plus 3 will be greater than negative 5. Okay, so now on the right hand side, this is 2x plus 3 less than 5. Right in between over here, so make sure to write this one down just to remind yourself what you should do. Okay, n. Why are we using n? Because this is somewhere in between, right? So 2x plus 3 is somewhere in between negative 5 as well as 5. So somewhere in between, we should use n. It must satisfy both. Okay, so now on the left hand side, I have 2x plus 3 greater than negative 5. Of course, I'm going to bring positive 3 to the right hand side. It will become minus 3. So 2x greater than negative 8. So x will be greater than negative 4. So now on the right hand side, I have 2x plus 3 less than 5. So bring positive 3 to the right hand side. So we got 2x less than 2, x will be less than 1. Okay, so the reason why I ask you to write down the word n is because once you have the answer on the left hand side and on the right hand side, you should do one number line where you should find the intersection for them. Intersection is because you have the word n. So kena cari intersection lah. Okay, so I have negative 4 and 1. So this is negative 4, this is 1. So it should be greater than -4. At the same time, it should be less than 1. So my intersection is over here. So the intersection is somewhere in between -4 up until 1. So that is our final answer. The solution interval is -4 up until 1. If I using solution set, then it will be x such that -4 less than x less than 1. Oh, tersalah simbol. Tak nak bagi. Tak je lah tambah macam ni. Masa saya copy tersalah. So saya copy answer yang atas tu. Okay, so -4, +1. Boleh Betul kan kat sini? Korang bukan ada jawapan kan? So sana yang betul lah, +1. Okay, so that is for A. So let us proceed to B now. Okay, so B, we have absolute value of x minus 1 less than or equal to 4. Okay, so now based on number line, this is 0. On the right hand side, the number is 4. So this is 4 unit. This is -4. So one positive, one negative first. So we want the distance to be less than 4. So I know the distance from 0 to 4. This is 4 unit. So somewhere in between will be less than 4. So similar thing over here, 0 until -4. This is 4 unit. I want the distance to be less than 4 as well. So somewhere in between. Therefore, x minus 1 should be in between and including -4 and 4. So this is basically how we open using the basic definition. So ini kita guna basic definition lah, kita buka. Okay, so now I do see something in between. So if we do see something in between, we need to split them into two different inequalities. Okay, so now we're going to split them into two. So one on the left hand side, another one on the right hand side. So split them. So it will become -4 less than or equal to x minus 1. And at the same time, why are we using and? Because this is somewhere in between. In between, it must satisfy both. So we are using and x minus 1 less than or equal to 4. Okay, so now I'll give you 2 minutes. Try to find out what is your final answer. 2 minutes. 2 minit lah saya bagi. Asyik dengar saya kira je kan. Cuba kira pula. 2 minit. Sampai 2 minit ke? 3 lah sampai 8.45. Oh, by the way, for those that haven't key in the attendance, please do so. You need to key in your attendance. So far 05 baru 21 orang. So ada lagi 9 lah ni. 06 27, 07 25, 08 28 orang. So masih setiap kelas semua tak cukup lagi. So nanti buka dekat channel. Jangan lupa isi attendance lah. So untuk attendance hari ni pukul 10 saya tutup lah. Pukul 10 pagi. Jeng jeng jeng. Do you got the answer? Do you have your answer? Right, so it's 8:45 already. How was it? Do you guys get your answer? Do you get your answer? Okay ke? Ke tengah sepoi-sepoi bahasa? Oh, Alicia dah dapat jawapan. -3, 5. Number line memang kena buat ke Miss? Tak payah. Number line ni tak payah buat. Cumanya untuk saya, sebab biasanya saya, walaupun saya suruh awak hafal, saya tak hafal tau. So bila saya tak hafal, biasanya memang saya kena lukis lah. Sebab saya tak hafal. Kan tadi ada banyak kan, ada 4 tu. Biasanya saya jarang-jarang saya hafal. So saya mesti kena lukis number line dulu baru saya nampak region dia. So ni untuk saya lah. Saya biasa macam ni. Saya jarang sikit hafal. Kalau benda tu tak perlu hafal, saya jarang hafal. So kalau nak hafal, hafal lah. Okay, so now -4 less than or equal to x minus 1. Like I told you before, I don't like having x on the right hand side. So let us flip them. So it will become x minus 1 greater than or equal to -4. So x will be greater than or equal to -3. And then on the right hand side, we have x less than or equal to 5. Now we need to find the intersection between the answer. Find the intersection. Okay, so we got -3 on the left, 5 on the right. Oh, yang ni ke? Number line yang awak kata nak cari tu lah. Okay, greater than or equal to -3, less than or equal to 5. So this is the region. Okay, kalau untuk yang ini, saya kata yang ini buat lah. Yang ini mesti kena buat tau. Yang atas ni tak perlu buat pun tak apa. Yang ni tak perlu buat. Yang tu just sebab saya biasanya saya tak ingat sangat. So saya memang kena lukis dulu lah baru saya nampak kawasan dia. But this one over here, you have to do it. Mesti kena buat. Sebab nanti ada kemungkinan kita akan dapat 2 jawapan kiri, 2 jawapan kanan. So kalau tak biasa buat step ni, awak terlupa. So saya wajibkan lah. You must have this one. Find the intersection. Okay, so now find the intersection. You are going to get -5, -3 up until 5. So x from -3 up until 5, or in solution interval, it will be just like what Alicia put over there. Alicia kok bukan Alicia. Alicia, -3, 5. So this is for solution interval. Okay, almost there. Towards the end already. So the last one. Okay, so now we got to solve absolute value of 4x plus 1 greater than 2x minus 5. So this is normally what I do. So if you want to memorize, then you boleh memorize yang ni lah. Or this is what I normally do. So this is 0. I simply take the right hand side. So this is 2x minus 5. This is negative of 2x minus 5. So I want the distance to be more. So it should be on the right hand side, left hand side. So I have 2 different region over there. So the first one is less than. So this is less than negative of 2x minus 5. And this is greater than 2x minus 5. Okay, so now let me write them down. So 4x plus 1 greater than 2x minus 5. Or 4x plus 1 less than negative of 2x minus 5. Oh, saya tertukar tempat dia. Tak apalah. Redor je lah. Okay, so 4x plus 1 greater than 2x minus 5. So this is on the right hand side. 4x minus 1 less than negative 2x minus 5. So that is on the left hand side. Okay, so now we should solve them one by one. So solving the left hand side first. So bring all the x to the left and then making x as the subject. So we got 4x minus 2x greater than -5, -1. So 2x greater than -6. X will be greater than -3. And then on the right hand side, we have 4x plus 1 less than -2x plus 5. So do keep in mind that this one mesti kena expand satu persatu. So -2x, +5. And then of course 4x plus 2x equal to less than, sorry. 4x plus 2x less than 5 minus 1. Dia macam rasa distracted sikit. Siapa lah Manchester United tu, sabar je lah. 4x plus 2x less than 5 minus 1. So 6x is less than 4, x will be less than 2 over 3. Okay, so now just like what we did earlier, before this we have to find the intersection, right? Before this kita cari intersection, but for this one you have or means that you need to find the union. So instead of intersection, now we have to find the union for them. So kita nak unitkan answer lah. Okay, so we got negative 3 over here, 2 over 3. So greater than negative 3, less than 2 over 3. And then we have to unite our answers. So that means everything below. So that means everything from negative infinity to infinity. Or you can use the real number. So the solution set is x such that x is an element in real number. So ini dalam solution set lah. Kalau biasanya kita letak negative infinity to infinity. Yang ini dalam solution infinity to infinity. Everything below that line. Semua yang berada di bawah line tu lah. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, this is the last one. Yup, that is totally the last one for today. Okay, so now the last question done for today. So I'll see you guys later dekat tutorial. So nanti saya buat Google Meet, saya buka Google Meet, nanti saya akan bagi link dekat awak lah macam biasa dekat channel. Okay, so jumpa je lagi. Kita take 5 dulu lah, nanti dalam pukul 8.55 macam tu nanti baru saya bagi link Take 5 dulu. Relax dulu, tarik nafas dulu. Okay, bye-bye everyone. Have a nice day.